Evening, everyone. It's around 5:35 on Thursday. This is my closing comment, video number 250. Today was a very strange day in the markets. We started off with the president ratcheting up more China tensions, and we followed that with the news that initial claims for unemployment were a little bigger than expected. They were down slightly from last week, but there were 2,438,000 new claims versus what was expected, which was not much less than that, but 2.4. The continuing claims number was up, and the new number is 25,073,000 unemployed. We followed that with existing home sales, which were down 17.8%. That's the lowest level since July of 2010, and that's a run rate of 4.3 million a year. The futures were down, but the market had a little bit of strength in it under the market. With Boeing being recommended by RBC, the stock closed up $5.68 or 4.3%, but that added 39 points to the Dow. The Dow actually closed down about 102, which was 0.41%. The NASDAQ was down almost as much at down 90 and 90 cents, which was 0.97%, as was the S&P, down $23.10 or about 0.8%. The Russell was basically unchanged at up 63 cents. Volume was down, and the advanced declines were kind of soft. It was 1-to-1 on the New York, so even, but 3-2 to the downside on the NASDAQ. On the Dow stocks, there were 24 decliners and only 6 up. And those 6, as I mentioned before, the first one was Boeing adding 39 Dow points, Travelers 25, and Home Depot 18. So there were no massive big winners and there were no massive big losers. The losers were led by Visa down the equivalent of 22 Dow points, 3M, Apple, and Microsoft all down 16 Dow points apiece, and Disney was down 14 Dow points. We had earnings, and most of them were really not a surprise, but the reaction on some of them was. BJ's Wholesale closed up 628 or 22% on really good numbers. This kind of figures considering, how Costco has also done. Nvidia reported after the close and beat both revenues and earnings. The stock went from where it closed, which was about unchanged on the day. It went up 7, then it went down 7, so a 14-point range, and basically before I started was unchanged. Palo Alto Networks had beats both top and bottom also, and it had closed at 229, which was down 5. However, the last was 241, which was up 8. Best Buy beat top and bottom lines also. They're doing a lot of online and pick up at the curbside, and even though they beat, the stock was down 356 or 4.4%. TJX, which has been closed this entire time, evidently is looking forward, or investors are looking forward to all of that inventory that they're going to get from the Macy's of the world. The stock reported, just in line with what was expected. It's been up for the past 5 or 6 days, closed today 54.30, up 345 or 6.8%. And 8 trading days ago, the stock was 42 and a half. So um, that has a very strong bull following. The chart on the screen is the S&P, and this is the fourth day where it hasn't really been able to make any progress to the upside. It's not giving much back. We're not trading it, but it looks to me and feels to me like we're going to come down a little, even if we only go from today's close in here down to maybe test the 2850 area. The way that I'm playing it is we are long the TLT, which is the 20-year bond, and we are long the bond short interest rates because there tends to be a flight to safety if the market starts to dip. We are also initiated a trade today in the oil. The oil has been very strong. As everybody knows, it's up from $6.50. Today, it traded as high as just under $35. The high for the day was 34.66. It closed about mid-range. I bought some puts on the USO. This is a very tough area, and I think that we can even come down just a little to test this breakout. That would be a very profitable trade for us. Have a good evening. I'll be back in the morning.